this is where you usually see me.
But in this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, because today, the headlining to my 350Z arrived. So, I'm going to be taking you on my rather long and tedious journey of fitting it.
But this is only step one of GTN's new build. Over the next year, you'll join me as I modify my Nissan 350Z.
Shit.
Take it on some of the greatest road trips with the greatest people.
I'm gonna start it.
And because of this whole electrification thing and the rising of fuel costs, enjoy the combustion engine while we still can.
Race car.
Yes! Yes!
So, I suppose we better get on with it then. Okay, so let's have a look at this really lovely headlining. Got it from JF Customs on eBay, the link will be in the description. And they have done just a great job. It was quite expensive. It was £160, not including post and packaging. Although I do think post and packaging was free. Put it on the screen. But they do it completely custom to order. It's cut to size, so you can see, they've cut the edges. Obviously, I think there will be a bit of cutting that we'll have to do, especially around here where we've got the sunglasses holder and the lighting at the top. But look at the stitching. The stitching is so lovely. You can choose the colour of the stitching. I obviously chose yellow. And as you can see, it's got a load of stretch in it too. So going around any of those corners or any of the creasings or whatever, it should be really easy to put on. Now, a little bit of background. I have done this before. I bought some Alcantara just from Amazon. Actually, it was faux Alcantara. And I tried to put it on the ceiling of the car, on the headlining, and I used some crappy glue, and I kind of cut corners a little bit, and it fell off in the heat. If you're not from the UK, we've just had a massive heat wave. Didn't survive. But this, I'm hoping, will. So, we'll go over to that table, over there, and I'll show you what tools we're going to use. The tools. Let's quickly go through this, because there are lots of different ways you can do this. There's different glues, there's different ways of sticking it down, but this, I think I've done a lot of research, and I think this is the best way to do it. It's the best way that I found at least. So, starting off with the cheapest brush you can find. This is just something from B&Q, something cheap. It's going to be covered in glue. We're going to be throwing that away by the end of the day. The glue. Now, a lot of people on YouTube will say that you should get spray glue because it's made for fabric, specific fabric glue. This isn't specific to fabrics. This is EvoStick Impact Instant Contact Adhesive. Now it's meant to be for non-porous things like concrete, stone, things like that. But it does work on porous materials, such as foam backing on the headlining. This is really, really sticky. The other spray can which I used was not. It would also go through the Alcantara I bought, which wasn't ideal. On that note, just so we can have maximum adhesion, this is just a thing for when you wrap a car. Don't necessarily need this, you can just use your hands, but I think that'd be quite handy. Scissors, obviously, scissors and a blade. We will be cutting things, so you're gonna need really sharp blades. I've got my trusty Stanley knife and some blunt kitchen scissors. We'll see what this does. We need to get the headlining off. So, things to get off those little poppers. The Egyptians used this for some kind of mummification or something like that. And all these just to get the plastic interior bits off your car to make it as easy as possible to take off the headlining. The last thing you want to do is take the headlining off and scratch it or rip it, or when you're putting it back on, scratch it, whatever. Hammer. A lot of you were wondering what the hell I'm doing with a hammer. This is for when it goes wrong and my wife wants to kill me. So the first step, jack up your car. No, the first step is to turn the cameras off. Then we're going to go out to the car and you're going to see the awful mess that I made. Taking the headlining off isn't too difficult, it's just a bit of a pain in the arse. you think I'd lock it? See what I mean about this? So this was the job I did. It's actually not a bad job. Apart from it falling, obviously. Oh, and take a look at this as well. So I wrapped this. It's not a perfect job because I've never actually wrapped anything properly before this, but this is like, I didn't want to do like the kind of standard carbon fiber thing, so I got forged carbon fiber. It wasn't supposed to stay like this. This was just like a little test I did, but it looks kind of good. There's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to actually take this down. But let's get pulling some stuff out anyway. Start with the A-pillars. What? Me with my little...
The way you're sat.
I'm keeping the door open for you. Now we have to take this little bit of lining off. You just pull it, just be kind of gentle. Everything can be replaced. Oh! Oh, no, that's gone. Oh! Oh my god. Alright. Things with that, make sure the pressure's spread. Just give it a really quick pull. And then come out to your car and do the same thing. Get in there, whack that out. Don't lose these. Put them in the centre console. That's your tip for today. Oh, that's just fallen off anyway. That's also fallen off. That's all. Great, so you know I said don't lose them.
They're lost.
They're lost, they're gone. Easy. We're just gonna disconnect everything from here. This is really easy stuff. If you haven't, or if you are thinking of doing this, take photos, even if it looks simple. Because things might take longer than you expect, and you're gonna forget. Or at least I do anyway. And now, we just pull it forward, I hope. Perfect. Let's take it back in the house, rip the shit off and get it done. Try a bit.
I don't have any left.
Oh! So all this stuff is just kind of held in with these little almost rivety type things, which you just really carefully edge out because they can break. Mother! You want to keep these so they will fly away. Oh! That's not what I was hoping for. Like that. It's off. Did not take long. Move to the lounge, because for this part you're going to need a lot of space. You're going to have to walk around it and kind of size it up. So the old stuff is off. Now, because there's a stitching running down the centre of it, I kind of really want to get it centralised. I don't really want to cut into these though. I suppose I could, you know, glue it at the end so it doesn't come undone. I'm going to start at the centre, work my way down from here. I'm going to basically work within this centre bit here, and then we'll work outwards. So I'm going to do the middle bit first, all the way down from about here. We'll work towards the front of it, and then we'll do the sides outwards, because that's where it's going to need to be stretched. So I think we've got this. Let's do it. I'm feeling averagely confident. He lied. Oh, please be central. Please be central. Is that central? Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is gluing both sides and waiting until the glue is tacky. I'm only doing it in sections because that allows you to stretch over the sections that need it. And then obviously just patting down and waiting for it to dry. Take your time, it will get there in the end. I ended up using way more glue than I expected to. I think I went through actually 3 buckets or 3 pots in total. Don't use too much though, because then it does eventually make its way through the Alcantara. But this has a foam backing, so it did make that a little easier. I could get away with using quite a lot, as you can see here, just to ensure that it really does stick down. Try not to miss any patches as well.
So I've done half of this now, and I've learned a few things. First of all, don't do it on the floor. That is a stupid idea. My back is now killing me. Second thing, don't rush this. I rushed it and I had to re-stick a few bits. Overall, it's looking really good. Take your time with glue like this. Gotta wait till it's tacky. You can't just put it straight on, otherwise it won't stick. But this side's looking pretty good now. It's looking pretty good. Unlike the last stuff I used, which wasn't proper, it was pretty crap really. But unlike the last stuff I used, it's really getting in all the grooves, all the dips. So, I've done it all the way to the edge. It hasn't wrapped around yet, and that is the next step, which I'm going to talk you through in a moment. Overall, it's looking really good. Really happy with how it's gone down. JF Customs has done such a good job on this. Now, let's turn it over. I can talk to you about what we're going to do next. So the next thing to do is just cut off this excess. So I'm going to leave probably an inch, inch and a half all the way round. And then we're going to just cut into it perpendicularly. And that's going to just wrap around and make it look really good at the edges. Then, once we do the edges, we'll just let it dry for a bit longer and then we'll cut these bits out. I'll tell you now, that was kind of annoying. But it's all stuck down, and then I kind of finished it off with just a covering of glue over the top. It kind of felt like I was sealing it. I'm not sure if that really makes sense, but that's how it looks in my head. Right, we've got everything glued down, all the edges are glued. This bit is looking really nice, the indents they're staying down. That's always a good sign. Now, the last thing we've got to do is just cut out this square here, and we've got like a tiny hole there, and potentially, yeah, a little one there. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut with the glue, we're going to push against it, because we don't want to push from the underside out, because that could push the glue, or rather the material, away from the actual headlining of the car. And we don't want to do that, any excuse, it probably will pop out knowing me. What I want to do is cut it in an X, like this, so we've got flaps to then stick round. Nice. We'll come back when it's dry in a couple of hours. The glue apparently takes about 24 hours to fully cure. We'll do the finishing touches later on today. Tomorrow, put it back in the car and I'll tell you about the next project.
Yep.
Alright. Remembering where things go. My door. You know what? Sod it. You just put the camera down, I can have a hand. So, as you can see, it's done. Now, before I take some beauty shots and show you how it looks, I want to tell you how it went. Getting it back in is a right pain in the ass. You're definitely going to need 2 people. But overall, this product was really, really good. It looks great. I'm Really happy with it. It's not mechanically difficult, but it's just a bit of... It's very fiddly. So if you've got a lot of time to waste, go for it. It does make a huge difference to the interior. I've been driving a Mini Cooper which has black headlining, and it, for some reason, just makes the car feel a lot lower, and it just makes it feel more premium. This car having the grey headlining, it looked a bit cheap. Coupled with the plastics in the interior, it felt very cheap. Now it's got the black, and I've painted all of these as well. But overall, really happy. I'm going to really look forward to driving this now. I've got to go and get it MOT'd, but then it should be great. And I'll just show you what it looks like. And hey, thanks very much for joining me on this journey. The next project's going to be really fun. We're going to be doing some painting around the car. We're going to be wrapping it. We've got a body kit on its way. We've got performance mods. There's going to be a lot to do. I'm very excited to get into it. Let me know if you like this video. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let's have some fun with a combustion engine. Let's do it.